Most researchers working with binary outcomes think they know how to interpret their models, but in many cases, they don't. They rely on coefficients that don't map to real-world effects. They interpret interactions that don't mean what they think they mean, and they focus on statistical significance without ever asking if the effect actually matters, or if this effect is even robust to omissions. This course is about fixing that. My name is Jesper Wolf. I'm a professor at Aarhus University working on statistical methodology in the organizational sciences. I serve as an associate editor and method reviewer for the Leadership Quarterly, a method consultant for the Journal of Management, and I'm on the editorial board of Karma. My work focuses on improving how we estimate, interpret, and draw conclusions from empirical models. The key idea in this course is simple. If you want meaningful interpretation from a binary outcome model, you need to focus on average partial effects, not coefficients. Average partial effects tell you how probabilities actually change when we change a variable of interest, and that is usually what we care about. Binary outcomes are everywhere in management research. Leadership, adoption, survival, entry decisions. But nonlinear models create a gap between what we estimate and what we think we are interpreting. And that gap leads to at least three problems: coefficients without a clear meaning, misinterpreted interactions, and results that are statistically significant but practically trivial. What makes this course different is how we approach these problems. First, we build a foundation: interpretation, interaction analysis, practical significance, and sensitivity analysis. And then we carry that same framework forward. So instead of learning disconnected techniques, you learn a consistent way of thinking that works across models, from the very basic to the most advanced. We start with the foundations: the linear probability model and the probit, how to compute and interpret average partial effects, and how to evaluate whether effects are not just significant, but meaningful. And then we move to interactions. We replace coefficient-based interpretation with predicted probabilities, marginal effects, and visualization, and crucially, combine this with formal testing. Next, we introduce sensitivity analysis, because without credible identification, results are just associations, and we need to understand how fragile they are. Then comes the key step. We take all of these tools: interpretation, interactions, practical significance, sensitivity, and then we apply them in more advanced settings. First, instrumental variables: how to interpret effects under endogeneity, how to assess robustness when instruments are imperfect. Then panel data models, where the same logic applies. Same focus on interpretation, same tools, same framework. Throughout the course, a few principles guide everything. We focus on interpretable effects, not coefficients. We compare models to understand when assumptions matter. And we combine visualization testing and sensitivity analysis to support credible conclusions. Everything is grounded in a real management research example, and we implement in both data and R, so you can quickly implement these techniques yourself. The goal is simple: to give you a coherent framework for interpreting results for binary models, from the simplest binary models to the most advanced ones. So if you've ever wondered whether your results really mean what you think they mean when you deal with binary outcomes, well, then this course is for you, and I hope you enjoy it.